Don't be a jerk, eat a jerk. Chicken. Hi, all you healthy humans. Welcome to New Leaf Table TV. I'm your host, Chef E, and today we're making jerk chicken with charred broccolini and mashed plantains. If you need a dish that brings the heat but also the comfort, this dish tastes like a Caribbean vacation in a pan. We're pairing it with creamy mashed plantains, yes, you heard that right, plantains, and crispy charred broccolini for a zesty finish. It's bold, balanced, and ready in just 40 minutes. First off, we're using 4 bone-in, skin-on, pasture-raised chicken thighs. So bone-in, skin-on really is like nature's flavor infusion because the bone keeps things juicy and the skin makes the outside extra crispy. Also, we're using chicken thighs, which is the dark meat, but they're gonna be higher in iron and B vitamins, which is gonna help you run a marathon, grow new skin, or just remember where your keys are. We're also using a little bit of bone broth, some ghee, and grass-fed tallow. We're also using coconut sugar. So coconut sugar, despite the name, is not made from coconuts. It is made from the evaporated sap from the coconut palm tree. Unlike normal sugar, which is bleached crystals from sugarcane, it is non-GMO and vegan because it doesn't go through a harsh chemical refining process. It's also lower on the glycemic index, so you're not going to get the blood sugar roller coaster or the sugar crash. It also contains trace minerals like zinc, potassium, calcium, and iron. It also naturally contains prebiotic fibers, so it feeds your good gut bacteria. We're also using plantains. So these might look like bananas, but they are starchier, firmer. They're basically the potatoes of the tropics. They are loaded with resistant starch, which helps feed your good gut bacteria and stabilize blood sugar. They are also potassium powerhouses, just like normal bananas, which help prevent muscle cramps and muscle recovery. They're also one of the richest sources of vitamin A, so it helps support your immune system and eye health. We're also using broccolini. We're using dried thyme. Our 2 heat seasonings will be cayenne and crushed red pepper, garlic powder, parsley, allspice, nutmeg, royal cinnamon, smoked paprika, and onion powder. We're using some fresh parsley. We're also using salt and pepper, some fresh garlic, and fresh lime juice. So let's get started. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 425 degrees. So first off, we're gonna boil our plantains. When they're done boiling, we're gonna mash them up and add ghee and garlic, and they're gonna be lovely. So go ahead and take a saucepan and boil your water. Now my water is already preheated, so it is already boiling. So I'm gonna chop up my plantains real quick to get the peeling off. And then I'm gonna add these to my boiling water. Now remember, plantains are much more starchy, so it's going to be much more difficult than a banana to remove the peeling. That's why I'm chopping them up like this. Okay, we are gonna let these boil for 15 minutes and then we will drain them. Okay, next up, we're gonna make our jerk seasoning. So we are making a dry rub to go on our chicken. Now, traditional jerk chicken is made from a paste that you marinate the chicken in for 24 hours, but we don't have that kind of time. So we are making a dry rub from seasonings that you usually have around the house. I recommend making it. You're not really gonna find a jerk seasoning at most grocery stores unless you go to a specialty store, and the chances are you aren't gonna get a clean version. So this is super simple to make with very common spices. I'm just going to make the seasoning right on top of my chicken and then rub it in and let it sit for a minute. So we're gonna use some dried thyme, some garlic powder, some parsley. Now we're using allspice. So allspice is really going to make this jerk chicken. So allspice sounds like it's made from a seasoning blend, but it's actually just one seasoning that is made from a berry that is common to the Central America region. It tastes like nutmeg, cinnamon, and cloves had a baby, and it has been traditionally used to soothe digestion. So we're gonna add it right to the top. I love allspice. Make sure and smell it so you can really get those flavors. We're also using some nutmeg. We're also using cinnamon. Some smoked paprika. Some onion powder. We're also using brown coconut sugar. And then for our added heat, we are gonna use cayenne and crushed red pepper. Now, you can vary this based on your preferences. If you don't like heat, you can leave them off. You can add a little bit or a lot, depending on the amount of heat you like. Now I'm just gonna get my hands dirty and rub this seasoning into all parts of the chicken. Now traditional jerk chicken, like I said, is made from a paste, and you usually use a spicy hot pepper like a Scotch bonnet or a serrano, whatever pepper is native to the region in the Caribbean or Central America. But we are using cayenne and red pepper just to give us that heat. That is where jerk chicken gets its name, is from the spicy peppers. Okay, go ahead and wash your hands. Okay, our chicken is rubbed down. Now I'm gonna take a saucepan and add a couple of tablespoons of grass-fed tallow. You can also use any sort of frying oil like coconut oil or avocado oil. And I'm gonna heat this to medium-high heat. Okay, our tallow is hot. Now I'm gonna add my chicken to the pan, skin side down. Okay, now I'm gonna let these cook skin side down for about 5 minutes, and then we'll flip them over. I am gonna go ahead and cover my chicken just so I don't get the splatter. Now you might not get quite as crispy of a skin if you cover it and don't let the air flow. You can also kind of put your lid slightly off so it gets a little airflow. Okay, while our chicken is cooking, your oven should be preheated. We're gonna go ahead and start our broccolini. So I'm just gonna trim off a little bit of these ends because they're really long. Okay, now I'm gonna take my ghee and just spoon a little bit onto each piece of broccoli. Now I'm gonna take 2 cloves of garlic and just smash them and give them a rough chop and add them to my broccolini. I'm also going to take my 3rd piece of garlic and smash it and leave it on the pan. And we're gonna use that for our plantain mash, but this way it gets roasted and you don't have to dirty another pan. I'm also gonna use some salt and pepper. Now we're gonna toss these in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes until they get nice and charred. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and flip our chicken. Okay, now we're gonna let our chicken sit on this side for 8 to 10 minutes or until the internal temperature of the chicken reaches 165 degrees. Now it has been 15 minutes and our plantains are nice and tender, so I'm going to use a colander and drain them. Okay, now I'm gonna transfer my boiled plantains to a bowl. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mash these up. Now I'm gonna add a tablespoon of ghee. I'm also gonna add my half a cup of broth, as well as salt and pepper. Now when our roasted garlic comes out of the oven, we can go ahead and add that then, but let's go ahead and get all this mixed up. Okay, now we can just set this aside until our garlic comes out of the oven, and we'll wait for our broccoli and our chicken to finish cooking. Okay, it's been 8 to 10 minutes. Now let's check our chicken. I'm gonna use a little instant read thermometer, and you just wanna make for sure you get 165 degrees. So this chicken is perfect. I'm just gonna take my chicken off of my pan and let it rest on a plate for about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Our broccoli is ready to get out of the oven. Okay, now I'm gonna take my roasted garlic and chop it up and add it straight to my plantains. All right, now we'll mix this together. Delicious. Now I'm gonna take the zest of 1 lime and add zest to my broccoli. Now I'm also gonna add the juice from half a lime to my broccolini. Now I'm gonna add some crushed red pepper to my broccoli. You can leave it off if you don't like heat. All right, now I'm just gonna chop a little parsley to go on top. Now I'm just gonna mix up my broccoli, make for sure all those flavors combine well, and let's get it plated up. Go ahead and add a layer of your plantains to your plate. Add your chicken right on top. Add a side of your broccolini. Don't forget some of that roasted garlic. And top with some fresh chopped parsley. There you have it, folks, our jerk chicken with charred broccoli and mashed plantains. Thanks for watching New Leaf Table TV. Until we dine again, farewell, healthy humans. To subscribe to New Leaf Table's meal service with 4 new featured meals every week and easy delivery through your existing Amazon Prime membership, visit our website at newleaftable.com. And also, please like this video and hit the subscribe button to follow our YouTube channel. Look what you did, you little jerk. Can you see it?
Your belly?
Mm-hmm. I realize why it's hard to breathe, because these pants are tight from my belly. So bone in, skin on really is like nature's flavor infusion. It's also lower on the glycemic index, which it clocks in. Okay. It's also lower than on, after they're boiled, we're gonna mash them up and add tallow and garlic, ghee and garlic. So we are making a dry rub seasoning to go on our chicken. I was like halfway burping. Okay. Okay, so we're using allspice. So allspice is really going to make this jerk chicken. So now, okay. Start over. We're also using brown coconut sugar. Okay. We need more tallow. There's a lot of tallow in this house. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, while our chicken is cooking, your oven should be preheated. We're gonna go ahead and mashing plantain.